Hey everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I'm going to show you how to make a 3-tiered birthday cake using the new 3D Delights pop-up mechanism. Now you can use this die to make all different kind of pop-ups. Doesn't need to be a cake, doesn't need to be 3 tiers. You can make a cup, you can make a hat, a bonnet, a basket. Just have it as a structure to then build from. You could create a Christmas tree with it. You could have just a snowy scene if it's all die cut in white. There are so many different things you can do with this, but I thought I would share what I think a lot of people will use it for, and that is a cake. So I'm going to do 3 tiers. You could do 1 tier, 2 tiers, or all 3. It's entirely up to you. I'm also going to be using some other product as well, and I'll talk through that as I go through it. So I've already done 1/2 because you'll need 2 of everything, and I'll show you exactly all of those pieces now. So you get 19 dies in the set. I've got mine all laid out on my magnetic sheet here, and then I've got the 2 plates, the big ones on the back. So these are the base plates. You can have it as a standalone piece, and that is the card. So you can write your message on the bottom, or you can stick this into a card itself, card blank, or you can stick these parts into your card as well. And I've done that with a basket, but I'm going to be using these today just so you've got a lot of variety on the tutorials that I'm sharing. So I've already gone ahead and cut this one in white and this one in pink. And then I've gone and cut 2 of the largest die here with the tabs. Then 2 of the medium size, that's the 2nd tier. And then 2 of the smallest, and that's your top tier. So you want 2 of each of those. And you can see here I've already stuck all of these pieces together. You've then got your mats and layers for each of those tiers. So I've just taken the next size down in all 3 of those sets and then cut those out. And then I've used the new embossing folder. So I've taken, there's 2 new embossing folders that I've launched, and these are the first time I've ever done 8x8. We've had quite a few people ask for large embossing folders. So you're going to see me use a lot of these when I do my gift bags and boxes. So hopefully you're going to enjoy those ones. You've got a linen and you've got a ditzy. So I've used the ditzy for the cake, so it looked a little bit like icing and the texture on the cake. And you can see that on there. And then to create the icing in this set here, which is the Love and Cake, you get these dies here. You've got the top one there that's got the large scallop detail, then the middle slightly smaller, and then the smallest has got the very small. And that's for each tier, but you could have, you know, mix it up if you want to. So you can see I've got the big scallop, medium scallop, and the little scallop there. I've just cut them along strips, and then I just, you know, decided how much I wanted to show, and you could have it much bigger if you want and layer up the icing. And then I just trimmed it off on the sides there. I'm going to be sticking them together with these ones anyway, so you'll see me do all of that. And then this is all of the parts for the mechanism, all the internal bits. So you want to cut yourself 2 of this die here. Then you'll want to cut 1 of the large circle with the tabs, 1 of the middle circle, and then again 1 for the top. So that's the top platform for the bottom tier, top platform for the middle tier, and the top platform for the top tier. So again, if you're just doing a single layer, then you don't need these ones. So it's all dependent on how many tiers you're having. And then these here, so you've got 2 of that size and 2 of this size are needed. And these are, again, this size are for the medium tier and these are for the small tier. And they are the platform really for the circles to sit on. So the circles, if I get that one, is going to sit on top of that one, for example, and this one's going to sit on top of those. These are optional, but on the large and the middle tier, you've got these slots, and these are for you to build up your scene. So if you want to have more stuff attached, then these will slot inside here. So I'd recommend just opening them like so. You want to do all this before you stick it together, just in case you decide to add them later on and then, you know, you struggle to get them in. And then you'll see there, they just slot inside. They are tight, but they need to be so that they're going to stay upright. And then you stick one down, you know, underneath like so. Again, I'll be doing all this in a minute, but I just want to break it down as well to show you. And then I've got 2 of the small one as well. So that does exactly the same on the slots on this one here. So I'll just do them now so I remember. Like so. Okay, so that's all of the pieces you need to make a 3-tiered cake. So get all those pieces cut in the colours that you want. Now this is the way that they will be. So these are the tabs at the bottom to connect it all. So they connect to each other and that connects to the base. Again, curve all of these pieces. I'm going to stick each one. You'll get a nice little frame around those. And then I will stick these on. I've also gone over all of the score lines. You'll see them when you die cut them. Just go over them in your scoreboard. It just makes it a bit easier to fold and you're less likely to get any cracking. I'm also using the construction glue just because that's what I like to use when I make any kind of 3D cards. It will just really strengthen everything. And it also gives it some weight as well. So they're all drying. And then for these ones here, this one just fits, I think, actually. I didn't trim this one down. I just stick them so that they were actually longer. So if I show you on this one, I think it's a bit easier. So just cut them so they're slightly longer, and then you can line up where you want them to join. I mean, if you really want to be perfect, then you could make sure it matches from when that's going to be attached. But I'm not going to go into that much detail with it and just show you you don't have to be that precise. But all you want to do is add some glue along a portion of it there, and then just place that along the top. I mean, that's if you're having it where I'm popping it. This is just the design that I want to do. You could have it starting here, so it's kind of like it's dripping down the sides. Like I said, yours might be much wider, it might be the other way up. So this is just one example. And then from the back, just snip away the excess there. And then that one's going to join on there, and you'll have that effect like so. Okay, so you just want to do that with the others. So once they're all stuck down, we can pop these together. So I'm going to run my glue all down the tab there. So this is the quick grab glue, and then I'm just going to pop them together like so, and then just do the same on this side. Okay, so you'll have something like this, but you'll see once that all gets pulled in, when it's attached to the base parts, you start to get that bottom tier. So just leave that one to dry and just do the same with the other two. Once they're stuck together, just kind of start moulding it into more of a circular shape there. Okay, so just leave those now to one side, and we can move on to this piece here. So you want to stick these back to back, and you want all the tabs folding out like this. So again, go over the score lines if you need to, and then just add your glue all over this part here. And this is the internal kind of piece that's going to keep it all upright. So you want it to be nice and strong, which is why I always like using the construction glue, because it just dries solid. Just give that a minute to dry. So then you want to take the largest circle. If you want to add these pieces, slot those in now. I don't think I'm going to, because I think all of the candles around the edge and the flowers, you're not really going to see it anyway. So I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to add my glue to the tops of these squares. And then if you fold this one up and just slot that in the top there, all the way down, and you want to push this right down onto the top of there. It needs to be butted right up to it. And then as you're pushing that down, you're pushing these up so they wrap around it. You need that to all be really snug. If you don't get this first one right down and in place, then it's going to affect the others that you add on top. Okay, so that will now come down. These tabs will be down, and those tabs should be up. So you want it to look like this. So then you want the medium-sized circle, and these two. Now don't do what I just did and stick it upside down. So these ones are going in this way. So then these tabs are going to pull this one down and be the platform for that to sit on. So I'm just going to add, you can see where I've just added the glue before, just add my glue there first and just pop that one. You want it in the middle and you're butting it right down into that fold there. Okay, and then all I need to do on this side is just add my glue like so, and then stick that one on. Again, just make sure your glue's all dry. Then you can add your glue all along these tabs here, and then pop this one on, and then do the same. Push that down right into there and bring that up. Okay, and then just fold it back and back up again, just so it's got a nice movement to it there. Again, with the base ones as well, just fold them both ways. Okay, so you should now have something that looks like this. And then you're going to do the same with the last tier and these pieces here. So I'm just going to add a little glue there and just pop this one, so you're butting it again right down into that fold, and then just turn that around. Stick those together, and then I'm just going to add my glue onto the last tabs there and just pop that one. And just stick that down. And just make sure that everything is secure. Okay, and just folding those back on each other. Okay, so you want something that looks like this. Okay, then you want to start from the top. So you want to take your smallest one and you'll have your tabs here. So if you just keep this kind of folded up, pop this on top, and you're going to slot it through this one here. In fact, I'm just going to open those up again. So actually, if you're making the 3 tiers, sorry, you wouldn't be able to add those little bits in anyway, because they're the same. They're either for the tiers to slot into or extra decoration. This is the fiddliest part, but once they're in, if you just use your tweezers there we go. Okay, they have to be snug for this all to work, so there's a lot of pressure pulling it all down. So again, I'm just going to take that one there. Okay, and just pull both of those through underneath, and you can see how that's pulling that all down, and it opens up that top tier for this to go in. And we'll stick all these last. We're just focusing on getting these attached. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue. If you pop them out that way, a little bit of glue on there and on that side, and then just fold them in. And you'll be able to use the tier above to add a little bit of pressure there. Okay, hopefully you can see I'm not missing any of these points. Once you've done it once, it's one of those, you know, you know what you're doing. There's just a lot of steps and making sure I get them in the right order. Okay, and then I'm going to hold these, so I don't want them popping out because the glue's still drying, but you'll see when that comes up how that will all go flat. Make sure everything stays nice and straight. Then we're going to take the next one and you're going to pop that over the top, and you're going to do exactly the same. So these are now going to go through these slots here, so just open those up a little bit if you haven't already, and bring that one through. And that one. Okay, and again just pop some glue under each one, just fold those in, make sure it's completely flush with the base. See, this piece is flush with the bottom, so you've got those tabs, you know, right in, Again, it's good because you have got some surface to push against there, so you can get that nice and secure. Okay, and again, you'll see how everything will fold flat. Now with the last one, this one is going to attach to this. So what you want to do first is we need to stick this onto here. Now the key with this is getting this right in the middle. So you might want to grab yourself a ruler and just mark, I think it's 1 1/8. It's 1 inch from each side. It's just a smidge over 1 inch. So I'm going to take my glue like so. If this isn't in the middle, it will throw the base one off, so it does need to be bang on. Yep. And then again, just give that some time to stick. So open it up, and I just like to go in with my bone folder and just get right down into the fold there. Okay, and then this one you're going to attach now just like you've done all the rest. So just slide that down and feed those underneath. And make sure it's completely flush with the bottom there, and that looks like it's, you know, spot on with its positioning. And I'm just going to add my glue onto each side and just fold that in. And again, just add a bit more pressure there just to make sure that's completely secure. So that's everything secure. Now you can see I've just done a little test run. None of this is positioned, but you can see it all holds itself. I haven't glued any of these tabs yet, but just push them all in. Just grab some tweezers. I'll just pull this one back out again, just carefully, like so. There we go, and then the rest will come up. But just do a little test and just make sure that they will all fold in. So you can see they're all loose there, there's all the tabs hanging out. But just start with the base one, and if that fits in like so, then you know you've got it bang on in the middle. If yours is slightly buckling to the left or the right, you didn't stick that main piece. This one here is not in the center of this piece. Like I said, if that's not in the center, it will throw everything off. It's just a smidge over 1 inch, okay, from each side. So next what we can do is stick all these down. So you can do it all in one go, or you can do one at a time. So let's do one at a time. So I'm going to do the bottom one first. Just add in the glue to both sides there, and then keep them folded down and just close the card. Okay, so that's the first one in place. So now when I bring that down, you see it all fits perfectly. So you just want to repeat that now with the next 2 tiers. Okay, so you should now have something that looks like this, and it's now all ready for you to decorate. So whether you want to pop it into a card blank, and I'll be sharing that all in other tutorials, I've got quite a few, but I'm going to have my sentiment, I think, stuck on the very top. So this is from the new circle sentiments, and you get the circle dies to cut them all out, mats and layers there. And then what I've done is I've cut all of the candles, the bow, different foliage, the flowers, using, I think, yeah, something from each one. So there's the candles and the foliage in that one, and then the flowers and the leaves are in this one. Did I say the bow as well? There's the bow. Oh, the bow's here. So I think that's everything. And then I'm going to stick the base on, but I'll do that at the end just so then I can show you. Yeah, because I'm going to have my sentiment on the bottom here. What you can do is just cut another piece of this in white, stick it underneath, and then you've got your white area to write your message. Okay, so that's how I decorate it. I don't think I need all the candles, so I'll just keep them for another project. So you could now just stick this into a card bank, but I'm going to add my glue all over the bottom of this piece. And then just let it all fold and just stick this in the middle. Make sure you've got a nice amount overhanging, and that little frame just finishes it all off. And open it up and let it dry when it's open. So it's now a couple of weeks later. I'm so sorry, I finished the card as you saw me doing and stuck everything down, but I forgot to then say and show you and go, here's the finished card. But here we are. So what I've also done is, since doing this, I've seen just a few comments where people have said, you know, they can't get theirs to stay open when they put it all together. So I'm going to show you a very easy little way to ensure that it will stand up, unless you are making it to be a solid piece. And that's another question that I've seen people ask. This one I'm just ready to decorate, and this will be going up onto the channel as well. But this one here, if you look on the bottom, there's no score line. So that base piece that you cut, don't score it and stick it down, and it will stay upright. So that is going to go into a display box. So I've got a lovely, like I said, tutorial showing all of that being finished. Now for this one here, because this one does fold flat, but it also stays open, what I've done is I've come up with this very simple little kind of latch system. And what you want to do is just punch yourself a hole just behind where this tab is on this piece. Okay, so when you've cut this, just punch a little hole with a hole punch, or use your piercing tools, and do that at each end. This piece here is 3 by 1, and then about 1/4 inch down and about halfway in, I've just cut this little piece. The width of it is up to you. You want to make sure it can slide underneath your brad. And I've just pulled out these star ones here, and I just thought they worked really nicely. So you can see when it's flat, it all will go down, and that will go into my box envelopes, which I've got on my other channel, so I'll link them now. So that's how it will be. And then there will be, what I'll probably have to do now is, that would be my space to write my message. So I will add a white layer there, so I've got my space, because I was going to do it on the bottom. But that's how it will be. And then when they open it up, it all pops up, and then if you pop your latch on, like so, okay, and you'll see it all opens, and then just push it down into place, and it all holds itself like so. So that is a really easy way to ensure that that stays open. But I've made plenty of others, and they all pop open and stand up, you know, perfectly. But if you are struggling with it and you've done it all and it's not staying open, then consider making just that very easy latch underneath there. And I'll probably do a separate tutorial showing how to do that in more detail as well. But it is literally just 2 little holes in between these slots here on the base pieces, so it's all hidden. You can't see the brads or anything in there. And then if they do want to pop it away, they just need to, you know, slide it off, and then it all folds back down again, and that just sits nicely and neatly behind the card there. So look out for this one, that will be coming shortly. And check out the album for the 3D Delights, because I have lots of other versions there, and obviously Gemma's samples are on there as well. There we go. I think because it's a star, it catches on the corners, but it does go in there. So yeah, have a little look at the samples on there as well. And yeah, and hopefully this tutorial's helped on how to make a 3-tier birthday cake. I think it's adorable. Absolutely love this style. So thank you as always for watching. I will link the product that I've used in the description box below, and if I remember, once this one's up, I will link this into this video as well, so you can go and watch it straight away. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.